Hey guys, welcome to the 176th C# tutorial that I'm making for the new Boston. And in this tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how to be notified when a file is changed, like when it's written, when you rename it, move it, or something like that. So you're really not going to need anything for this tutorial because we're going to have it all do it when the form is loading. So we're just going to go ahead and select our form right here and go over to the events and double click on the load event, so it'll create an event handler for when the form loads. Alright, and you're going to need to be using the system.io namespace since the file system watcher class is located in there. And like I said, we're going to be using the file system watcher class to check to see when files have been changed or moved or something like that. So we're just going to say file system watcher. I'm going to call it FSW for file system watcher and set it equal to a new file system watcher. And the first property that we're going to want to set is the path to basically where we wanted to check the files, and you're going to want to make it be a directory, and I'm just going to make it check for all the files on my desktop. So I'm going to say the path, equals my desktop. So I'm just going to say environment.get the folder path of my desktop, so special folders.desktop, and then we're going to want to set the notify filter, and the notify filter is basically what we want it to look for. So if we want it to look for when you save it or edit a file, we're just going to do notify filter dot last write. So notify filters dot last write, but there are a lot of other ones in here. For example, if you were to create a file, if you were to rename it or move it or something like that, there's stuff for pretty much everything in here. But we're just going to have it when you save it. So we're going to set the notify filter to last write. Next, we're just going to want to set the actual filter itself. So for file extensions or certain types of files you can do, so fsw.filter equals, and then you're just going to want to treat this just like a filter for like an open file dialog or something like that. So you can say like .text. Oops. So you can say like .text right there. Or if you wanted it to do all files, you can just delete the text and then just have a dot. But you can't have multiple extensions, so you can't just do like a line and then a different extension. You can only have one type of extension. And if you wanted to do only a certain type of file, or only a certain file, you can just put the actual name of the file. So for example, if you only wanted it to check to see when you save document.txt, then it would only notify you when you saved document.txt. Alright, so we're just going to have it do for all text files though. And next we're going to want to create a new event handler for the changed event. And the changed event will occur basically whenever you change the file, so if you save it or something like that. So we're just going to say fsw dot changed, and we're just going to say plus equals here to create a new event handler for it, and then just click tab twice so that we don't have to write out this method. And then we're just going to have a message box be displayed whenever the file is saved. So we're going to say, you have saved a text file. And before we can do this, this event won't be raised because we have to set the enabling events property to true, because defaultly that's set to false. And if we don't set it to true, this event won't be raised. So we're going to say fsw dot enable raising events, and we're just going to want to set this to true, basically so events can be raised. Alright, so let's just go ahead and debug here and make sure that it works. So now if we were to go on the desktop here and save this Atom text file, we're going to change the text to Atom and save it. You should get a message box here saying you have saved a text file. Yep, perfect. Alright, so let's look at whenever the file is renamed. So we're just going to want to say for right here, the file is renamed. So file name, and then we're going to want to create a new event handler for when the file is renamed. So fsw dot renamed, and then we're just going to say plus equals, obviously a new event handler, and we're just going to click tab so we don't have to write that out ourselves. And now we have a new method for when that event occurs, and just like before, we're going to have a message box show saying a text file has been renamed. So text file has been renamed. Alright, so let's just go ahead and debug and make sure that this worked. Just rename this text file here to hello. And then as you can see, we got a message box saying that text file has been renamed. Alright, so that's pretty much it for this tutorial, and there are obviously a lot of other events that can occur, like when you delete a file or move it, but it's pretty much the same thing as what we've already been doing, so that's it for this tutorial, so see you guys.